See that? You like that?
I knew it was something.
Just kidding. Just
Guys, we'll
kidding.
just open it up for questions. Go ahead.
Eli, you,
All right.
last July, you kind of blew people's minds by talking about a supersized playoff. It seems like more and more people are coming around to that concept. How or why, and are you actually leading a revolution here?
I was ahead of my time, but like most guys that are ahead of their time, the people who jump on got all the details wrong. So, I think it's been interesting. I said this earlier. When my very first SEC meeting as a head coach, the discussion was on about going to an 8-game, 9-game schedule. And I remember being so anxious sitting in those meetings thinking, when are we going to discuss this? When are we going to vote? And it took us 6 years to get to playing a 9 games. I think the reality of it is, man, these conversations are a lot more in depth and deserve a lot more discussion from a negotiation standpoint, from what's it do to college football, what's it do to the fan bases. I think there is some interesting points that people have made. I think there's a lot of things that are unknown. I remember last year we were told if we went to 9 games that the Big Ten was going to vote to be a 16-team playoff in 2026, and I think we're still at a 12-team playoff. So I don't get caught up in all that stuff. I'm a part of the SEC. Commissioner Sankey has navigated through a lot of things and deserves the respect that I give him, from getting us to play through COVID, working through a lot of different situations that we've all been involved in here, and he's done a great job. So there's no reason for my opinion to hamstrung him, and he probably doesn't care what my opinion is. So to be honest, I think it's a lot of conversation that doesn't really deserve my opinion. I know we play for a 12-game playoff this year, and I'm excited about our football team.
Eli, a few years ago, I think you were a supporter of a 9-game schedule.
Yeah,
here,
have been.
correctly. Now that it's here, and as you said,
Not as much. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, do you feel any buyer's remorse in the fact that it's here?
I think holistically in college football, holistically from college football, right? We have gone from determining who the undisputed national champion is to really becoming valuable entertainment on Saturdays, in a way for alumni and fans to identify with us and enjoy their Saturdays and have great memories and traditions. Welcome, Ross. Appreciate you being here. Anyway, I think that those 9 games are going to be awesome. I think creating memorable contests are going to be awesome. I think the original intent of why we discussed going to 9 games no longer is applicable. A lot of that conversation was in a 4-year cycle for you to play on everybody's campus. That ain't ever happening. I think a lot of that's changed over the course of time. But I think 9 games is going to be very, very difficult in the SEC. I think it's going to be a unique challenge. But it is what it is, and ready to tackle it. And we ain't undoing it. It took us 6 years to get here, so who knows how long it'd take to get out of it.
How do you handle being in the entertainment business? Because you seem to have made some peace with that, but I'm sure when you were volunteering on Gus's staff,
yeah,
back at the high school, you didn't see this coming.
No, I think that's just the industry's changed quite a bit. College football's changed quite a bit. And I still think there's a lot of values that I still believe in. I still think there's a lot of things that we can help young men to grow and develop in. But the original ways of being taught how to develop a program and build a program and coach in this sport has changed significantly since I've been here. And that's just the realities of what we are and what we're doing. That's why I believe in the SEC championship game. It's a heck of a opportunity to have great entertainment. It's one of the best games that the SEC puts on every single year, and I don't know why you would get rid of that just because you want to get to the next thing. Like, we're constantly looking for the next thing, like that's the answer. Like, man, sometimes you just gotta slow down and enjoy what you have, and what we have is really good product.
Coach, don't you think that on the championship game matter, and now with the 9-game playoff, just watching Georgia the last couple of years, seeing the top 2 teams play before the playoff, where maybe 3, 4, and 5 that get in don't have that extra game, don't you feel like that's perhaps a detriment to the top 2 teams rather than an advantage?
if you still think we're deciding that the best team wins the playoff, sure, college football. Guys, if you put 24 teams in a playoff or 12 teams in a playoff, I'm not sure that the best team always wins. Matchups determine it. I mean, you could go through the NFL, the past history of the NFL. I don't know that the best team always wins the NFL. It's the team that gets hot. It's the team that has the right matchup. Again, I think it's changed quite a bit of what we're trying to look for. I'm never going to speak for Coach Smart. He's an unbelievable coach and a Hall of Famer, and obviously the guy who speaks for the SEC from his experience standpoint. But I know in the past comments the value of the SEC championship game to him, as a coach and what that means and in winning. And obviously, I think if could it affect the playoffs? Sure. But you also got a chance to be SEC champion, and I think that's a pretty special deal.
Commissioner said yesterday that football is not a tournament sport. Do you think, would you agree? Or?
I think he's a pretty wise guy. I mean, it's a matchup sport. I mean, it's all about matchups, and certain matchups play a certain way. And, to say that the best team is going to survive over a 5-week or 6-week period, you got to be fortunate on injuries. You got to be fortunate on your team not getting the flu. I mean, there's just a lot of different things that occur over the course of that much time that I don't know that you're going to get the undisputed national champion. Now, this year, absolutely they did. I mean, Indiana was the best team, and it was awesome. And they were on the right side of those matchups. They did a tremendous job. But, again, we don't have enough data to say that's going to happen every year.
How's Ahmad Hardy doing?
Doing really good. Really good. Is back in Columbia, is released from the hospital, has been rehabbing in our facility every morning at 9 a.m. and is doing a really good job. And we're a long way away from knowing what the football side of it will be, but from a overall health, he'll be just fine and recover. We'll have to figure out. There's not a lot of return to play protocols with this particular injury, so we'll have to figure that out as we get back going.
Do you know when that timeline might be?
I should have a lot more information at SEC Media Days.
We're in the middle of the first portal period, the one portal period. How is spring different from your perspective?
Man, I loved it. I thought this was probably the most – I thought this was the best spring from a head coaching perspective, from a being able to coach, knowing who's on your team, being able to be truthful with them on where their improvement needs to be and how they fit in and what their roles are going to be, and more commitment to understanding that instead of, having outside influences on what this could potentially mean, from a transfer, not transfer deal.
Would you have named Austin QB1 if there was a spring transfer portal?
If I felt like he was the best quarterback, I can't go back and say one way or the other, but I don't know. But I felt like it was, as far as it's gone, it's been the best so far that I've had since the portal opened twice a year.
Speaking of the spring, there's been some discussion about possibly going to an OTA model in the future, similar to the NFL. Would you welcome that kind of more time with your guys and
What did you say? Somebody's.
I said you're trying not to, and you were trying to stay away from it.
Yeah, I just think there's we're constantly changing. We're not allowing anything to stick and get into a rhythm or a routine in college football. And again, it feels like we're always chasing the next. And we have made some really good improvements to our calendar, how we operate, in the way things need to progress. And for me, it's like, how do you find a rhythm or a routine or right practices? How do you gather enough data? How do you look into your analytics if you don't allow something to grow over time? And so for me, we just now got to one portal. Feels like it's going pretty good. We have the ability to have summer access with our football players, depending on how you want to use it. I just feel like it's in a good situation right now. I don't necessarily know why we would need to make a drastic change for change's sake.
5 years, what's the one thing you fixed? Starting with the one thing you fixed.
I fixed.
Yeah. You can do it.
Yeah, I fixed our play caller. Me not calling plays.
Oh, come on.
Are you talking about me personally?
College football.
What would I fix?
The last 5 years.
I think for there to be any fixes in college football, we have to get some sort of known part of the formula. The formula, whether it's the amount of times that people transfer, the amount of years that they're eligible, the amount of times that they go to the portal, not having contracts, everything just keeps exploding. You don't have a cap because you have players who can move every year who have unlimited eligibility. So until one of those things becomes fixed, then it's going to continue to spiral out of control, and everything keeps ballooning. And that's perfectly fine. I think agents are doing their job. When they understood that there was no fixed market and third-party NIL was something that you could drive up, then they drove it up, which is what their job is. And so I just think until there's some sort of fixed deal there, you're going to continue to have a lot of uncertainty. So that's what my thought.
Eli, along those lines, do you think, we'll keep talking about governance, CSC, rules, whatever.
Yeah.
Is there a set of rules that could be put in place by the NCAA, by the College Sports Commission, by the SEC, by anybody that people would actually, programs, coaches, whomever, would get behind and say, we're going to follow these rules and do it?
I mean, no. Not unless they're enforced, and not unless there's not a local judge who can overturn it. I mean, let's just be honest about it. So far, I mean, we can talk. Well, I'm not going to say that.
Now don't encourage him.
Somebody want to ask me about the punt rule, because that's really what I want to talk about. I'm dead serious. Huh? Go ahead, formulate the question for me. I'm glad you asked that. You know, I think, again, it's kind of a byproduct of college football right now, where people don't participate in the process, and then they get all upset about it and throw fits. You know, the NCAA Rules Committee does a really good job of soliciting ideas on what needs to be changed from the AFCA Rules Committee, from commissioners. They send out a survey every year to get participants. And then the head of the Rules Committee, A.J. Eads of the Big Ten, sets the agenda. And one of the agenda points was the scrimmage kick formation. And the reality of when the rule was initially brokered or written, it was because when a team wanted to punt, they were basically waving the white flag and saying, we're going to have 11 eligible numbers on the field, but we're going to line up in a scrimmage kick formation. So the other side of the ball could come onto the field with a punt return and say, hey, they are telling us that they're going to punt, and we're going to defend it. Because right now on first, second, and third down, you can't have 11 eligible numbers. That would be an illegal play. And if you watch college football today, on fourth down, there are formations that you don't see on any other base down, first, second, or third down, with 11 eligible numbers. That was not the spirit or intent of the rule. And so the Rules Committee addressed that, and they sent it back out to the NCAA and had support of over 65% of the respondents. Now, again, did we have full participation in everybody that responded? Nope. But they did send it out. And the NCAA Rules Committee is a subcommittee of the Football Oversight Committee. The one rule that we did suggest was a jersey rule that they sent back and said that they did not support. So that was taken off. And so for certain conferences to come out and say that there was 17-0 against it, or 18-0 or whatever, the Football Oversight Committee has 2 football coaches on it. One of them is of the Big Ten. So I don't, again, understand all of the consternation about it. One coach said it's going to be a clown show. Well, if you want to turn football into a clown show because you want to run people off the field and put in zip-up jerseys so that you can have a formation that you wouldn't ever use on first, second, or third down just for fourth down, I think that's the intent of the rule. That's the intent. If you want to say you're going to punt the football, then you should have to, and you have 11 eligible numbers, you should have to line up in a scrimmage kick formation. And then to have people say that it's a player safety issue, I mean, what a joke. The NFL lines up in the exact formation that we're talking about from a scrimmage kick formation every time. And I think they worry about player safety quite a bit. So, again, complain about something that you could have been a process to, and then when it doesn't go your way, I mean, what's next? Maybe they find a local judge that allows them to use whatever punt formation they want to use. I don't know.
All right, guys, we got to get out of here. The next guy's up. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
MIZ.